Hey everyone, ready to dive into the world of wastewater engineering?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to tackle some real interview questions
Uh-huh.
and give you the inside scoop on how to impress those hiring managers.
Right.
So if you're gearing up for a wastewater engineer interview,
Yep.
this deep dive is for you. We're pulling insights straight from RoleCatcher's resources,
Yep.
and we've got an expert here who's going to break it all down.
Absolutely.
Speaking of experts,
Okay.
want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I've been in the wastewater treatment field for over 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
Working on everything from designing treatment plants to managing operations.
Okay.
And I'm excited to share some of the things I've learned along the way.
That's awesome. And it's a good field to be in. Did you know that this career path is projected to grow by 5% over the next decade?
It's a growing field.
So there's definitely a demand for skilled wastewater engineers out there.
Uh-huh.
Let's make sure you are one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, before we jump into those interview questions, let's just do a quick overview.
Right.
What exactly does a wastewater engineer do?
Well,
Like, what's the day-to-day look like?
in a nutshell, it's about protecting public health and the environment
Okay.
by managing the systems that treat our wastewater.
Right.
We're talking everything from those pipes in our homes
Yep.
all the way to those big treatment plants that clean the water before it's released back into the environment.
So the pretty big scope.
It is.
And the career guide actually mentions sewage system and network designer as another title you might see out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not just about the treatment plants themselves, it's the whole network.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into those interview questions.
Okay.
The first one that we have here is, describe your experience with wastewater treatment processes.
Okay.
What do you think the interviewer is really trying to figure out when they ask this?
So this is really about gauging your foundational knowledge.
Okay.
They want to know, do you understand the basic stages of wastewater treatment?
Okay, so remind us, what are those stages?
We've got primary treatment,
Right.
secondary treatment,
Uh-huh.
and tertiary treatment.
Okay.
And within each of those stages, there are all sorts of different processes that we can use. Things like activated sludge,
Okay.
membrane filtration,
Uh-huh.
all sorts of different methods.
So should we just list every single process we've ever heard of?
No, not at all. It's not about just rattling off a bunch of terms.
Okay.
It's about being concise and relevant.
Okay.
So start by outlining those main stages.
Uh-huh.
Show them you understand that big picture,
Okay.
and then focus on the specific processes that you've actually worked with
Okay.
that you can speak about confidently.
What if you haven't worked with, every single process under the sun?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
It's okay to acknowledge that there are some processes you might not have direct experience with.
Okay.
What matters most is demonstrating that solid understanding of that overall treatment process. And even better if you can kind of show your eagerness
Right.
to learn and grow.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Always be learning.
Show that you're interested in expanding your knowledge.
Exactly.
So let's say we've outlined those stages, talked about our experience.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question do you think they might hit us with?
So they might ask you to elaborate on a specific process.
Oh, okay.
For example, they might say, explain how activated sludge treatment works.
Oh, okay.
Or compare the pros and cons of membrane filtration.
Gotcha.
They're really looking for depth here
Yeah.
and a willingness to kind of dive into those specifics.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it analyzes the job description
Uh-huh.
and it can actually highlight relevant skills that the employer is looking for.
So you know exactly what to focus on.
Yeah, so you can tailor your answers to exactly what they want to hear.
Love it.
So it's like having a personalized guide,
Yep.
helping you hit all the right notes.
Awesome.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
This one is, how do you ensure compliance with regulatory requirements for wastewater treatment?
Okay.
I feel like regulations are a big deal in this field.
They are huge.
So what do you think they're really getting at with this question?
They want to see that you understand the legal and environmental framework that surrounds wastewater treatment.
Okay.
So are you familiar with things like the Clean Water Act,
Oh, yeah.
NPDES permits,
Uh-huh.
all those sorts of things?
Okay.
But more importantly, can you demonstrate how you actually apply those regulations in practice?
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Right. It's one thing to know the rules,
Yeah.
but it's another thing to actually be able to put them into action.
Right. So it's not just about knowing them. It's about actually ensuring compliance.
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
So talk about specific permits you've worked with,
Okay.
monitoring procedures you've implemented,
Okay.
maybe even internal audits you've conducted.
Okay.
Show them that you're proactive and responsible.
I like it. Be proactive.
Yeah.
And speaking of being proactive,
Okay.
the career guide actually mentions the importance of staying updated on those regulations.
Oh, for sure.
Things are always changing.
Absolutely.
They recommend things like joining professional organizations, attending industry events.
Those are great ways to stay in the loop.
Yeah, so that continued learning
Uh-huh.
really shows commitment to the field.
It does.
Okay, so we've talked about our experience with regulatory compliance.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question might they throw at us
Hmm.
to really see if we know our stuff?
They could present you with a hypothetical scenario.
Oh, okay.
Imagine they say something like, there's a new regulation impacting discharge limits.
Okay.
How would you adapt your plant's operations to meet this new requirement?
That's a good one.
Right. So now they're really testing your ability to think on your feet.
Yeah, how do you handle those curveballs?
Exactly.
I feel like that's where practicing
Yeah.
with RoleCatcher's mock interview feature would be so helpful.
Absolutely.
Because you can get feedback on your answers,
Yeah.
and you can just build that confidence
Yeah.
for those tricky situations.
Practice makes perfect.
All right, on to question number 3.
Okay.
This one is, how do you troubleshoot and resolve issues with wastewater treatment equipment?
Okay.
This feels a little bit more hands-on.
It is. It is.
What are they looking for here?
So with this question, they're really digging into your problem-solving skills and your practical experience with equipment.
Huh?
Can you identify the root cause of a problem? Do you have the technical know-how to fix it?
Okay.
That's what they want to know.
So should we just like rattle off a list of all the equipment we've ever used?
No.
Yeah.
Instead of just listing things,
What?
focus on a specific example. So maybe a time when you encountered a problem with a pump or a clarifier.
Uh-huh.
Walk them through your thought process.
Okay.
What steps did you take to diagnose the issue?
Yeah.
And how did you ultimately solve it?
Okay.
Show, don't tell.
I love that.
Right.
Give them a story.
Exactly. Paint a vivid picture of your skills in action.
All right, so we've given them our best troubleshooting story.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question might they ask?
So they might dig deeper into your experience with a specific type of equipment.
Okay.
They might ask something like, have you worked with UV disinfection systems?
Sure.
Or what are some common problems with those?
Okay.
Or they might even ask about your approach to staying up to date on maintenance practices.
Okay.
You know, making sure that equipment is running smoothly.
Right, preventative maintenance.
Exactly.
And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI can help with that too.
Really? How?
It can suggest relevant skills to highlight based on that job description.
Oh, cool.
So you can really target your answers effectively.
It's all about maximizing your impact.
Yes, showcasing those strengths.
Love it.
All right, ready for question number 4?
Yep, bring it on.
It's, what experience do you have with plant design and construction?
Okay, so this one is all about showing them you understand the whole life cycle of a wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
They want to know if you've been involved in that design phase, if you get the construction process, and if you're familiar with all the relevant codes and standards.
So it's bigger than just drawing up a system on paper.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I got to be able to actually build the thing.
Exactly. You need to show you can take those designs and turn them into a real functioning plant in the real world.
So how do we demonstrate that kind of real-world experience?
Talk about projects where you had a hand in design or construction.
Okay.
Did you create schematics? Oversee the implementation of a new treatment process? Highlight your role and the specific things you did to contribute.
And don't forget to mention those codes and standards.
Yes, absolutely.
That attention to detail matters.
It really does.
Knowing your codes and regulations shows you're serious about compliance and safety.
For sure.
So I've talked about my plant design experience.
Yeah.
What kind of follow-up question might they ask to really test me?
They might ask about a specific challenge you faced during a project.
Okay.
For example, tell me about a time when a design had to be modified during construction. How did you handle that?
That's a good one.
Right. It gives you a chance to show how you handle pressure and adapt to unexpected situations.
Yeah, because things don't always go according to plan.
Never. It's all about showcasing those problem-solving and communication skills.
Okay, let's keep this momentum going.
Let's do it.
Question number 5. What experience do you have with odor control in wastewater treatment plants?
Okay, so this one's about showing you understand that odor control is a big deal in this field.
It's not just about the environment. It's about public perception, too.
Exactly. They want to see that you're aware of the technologies and strategies used to, well, keep things smelling. Less like a wastewater treatment plant.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
What if you haven't personally designed a whole odor control system?
Mm-hmm.
How do you approach this?
It's about demonstrating your understanding of the principles.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't designed a system from scratch,
Yeah.
you've probably encountered odor control measures in your work.
Okay.
Talk about technologies you've come across, like activated carbon filters or biofilters.
Yeah.
Explain how they work, why they're important.
What if I'm not super familiar with those specific technologies?
Do your research.
Okay.
Even if you haven't used them directly,
Uh-huh.
familiarize yourself with the basic ideas behind common odor control methods.
Okay.
Show the interviewer you're interested in this aspect of the work,
Right.
and willing to learn more.
And RoleCatcher can actually be a big help with that research.
Oh, yeah.
They have a ton of information on different technologies and skills for this field.
Preparation is key.
It is.
And RoleCatcher sounds like a fantastic tool to have in your arsenal.
Back to the interview.
Okay.
I've explained my understanding of odor control technologies.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of curveball follow-up question might come my way?
They might ask you to apply your knowledge to a specific scenario.
Okay.
Something like, imagine you're working on a plant near a residential area.
Uh-huh.
What steps would you take to minimize odor complaints from the community?
Well, that's a good one.
Right.
It's not just about the technical solution. It's about thinking about the community impact.
Exactly. Wastewater treatment is about more than just the technical aspects.
Oh, yeah.
It's about understanding the impact on the community and the environment as a whole.
Okay, question number 6. Describe your experience with process optimization in wastewater treatment.
Or
What are they looking for here?
efficiency and continuous improvement. They want to know if you're the kind of person who's always looking for ways to make things better, more effective, more cost-efficient, and more environmentally friendly.
So it's not enough to just know how to run the existing system.
All right.
We need to be thinking about how to make them better.
Exactly. Wastewater treatment is a field that's always evolving, and employers want people who are driven to innovate and find better solutions.
How can we best showcase that kind of mindset?
Talk about specific examples where you've identified opportunities for process optimization.
Okay.
Did you come up with a new control strategy that reduced energy consumption?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you analyzed data to identify bottlenecks and streamline operations.
Okay.
Highlight your problem-solving skills and that ability to think critically about improving systems.
I bet mentioning those professional engineer and certified water professional certifications from the career guide wouldn't hurt, right?
Oh, for sure.
It shows we're committed to professional development and staying at the top of our game.
Absolutely. Those certifications are definitely valuable. They add credibility and demonstrate your dedication to the field.
Okay, so I've outlined my experience with process optimization.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question might dig deeper into my approach?
They might ask you to walk through a specific optimization project you worked on,
Uh-huh.
talking about the challenges, the methods you used, and the results you achieved.
Okay.
Be ready to really showcase those analytical and problem-solving skills in detail.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's a chance to prove we can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
exactly. They want to see those skills in action.
On to question number 7. How do you stay up to date with emerging technologies and trends in wastewater treatment?
Okay, so this is where you get to show them you're a lifelong learner
Uh-huh.
and that you're genuinely passionate about this field.
Okay.
They want to know you're actively seeking out new information
Uh-huh.
and that you're excited about the future of wastewater treatment.
So how do we convince them we're not stuck in the past, using the same old methods?
Be specific.
Okay.
Mention concrete ways you stay informed.
Okay.
Do you read industry journals, attend conferences or workshops?
Okay.
Are you a member of any professional organizations?
What about online resources?
Yeah,
There are so many webinars and forums these days.
those are great too.
Okay.
The key is to show them you're proactively looking for information from diverse sources.
Okay.
And don't just list the sources.
Uh-huh.
Give an example or something you learned recently and how you might apply it in your work.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Right.
It proves you're not just passively absorbing information,
Yeah.
but actively thinking about how to use it to improve your skills.
Exactly. It's about showing that you're engaged and always looking for ways to grow.
Okay, so I've laid out my impressive learning habits.
Yeah.
What kind of follow-up question might they ask
Okay.
to really test my knowledge of those emerging trends?
They could ask about a specific technology or trend that's gaining traction. For example, what are your thoughts on using AI in wastewater treatment?
Okay.
Or how do you see the increasing focus on resource recovery impacting the field?
Okay.
Be prepared to share your thoughts and show
Yeah.
that you're thinking critically about these developments.
Okay, I'm taking notes. I better brush up on those industry trends.
Yeah.
Let's move on to question number 8.
Okay.
What experience do you have with project management in wastewater treatment?
Okay.
What's the key to knocking this one out of the park?
This question is all about your leadership and organizational skills.
Okay.
Can you manage a project from start to finish? Stay on budget, meet deadlines,
Okay.
and keep everyone in the loop.
Got it.
Those are the things they want to know.
So it's not just about the technical stuff.
Right.
It's about those people skills, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Wastewater treatment projects
Yeah.
involve working with all sorts of teams, contractors, agencies. They want to see you can handle those interactions effectively.
So how do we highlight those project management skills
Okay.
in a way that's both impressive and genuine?
Focus on specific examples.
Okay.
Describe projects you've led, outlining your role, the challenges you faced, and the outcomes you achieved.
Should we get into the nitty-gritty of budgets and timelines, or is that too much
Sure.
detail?
Definitely mention those.
Okay.
It shows you understand the practical side of project management.
Okay.
Did you deliver a project under budget?
Uh-huh.
Find a clever solution to a scheduling conflict.
Okay.
Those details make a difference.
Okay. I've shared my best project management story.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question
Uh-huh.
might they ask to dig a little deeper?
They might ask about a time when a project hit a snag.
Oh, okay.
For example, tell me about a time a project experienced a significant delay. How did you manage the situation and communicate with everyone involved?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Right.
But it's a good opportunity to show we can handle the unexpected and still deliver results.
Every project has its challenges.
Uh-huh.
They want to see you can navigate those challenges effectively.
All right, ready for the final question.
Bring it on.
Here it is. How do you ensure safety in wastewater treatment operations?
Okay.
This is a crucial topic.
Yeah.
What's the best way to approach it?
This question is all about showing your commitment to safety
Okay.
and that you understand the potential hazards involved in this work.
Uh-huh.
They want to see that you take safety seriously,
Okay.
that you proactively identify and mitigate risks,
Right.
and that you foster a safety-conscious culture.
So it's not just about knowing the rules.
Right.
It's about making safety a priority
Absolutely.
in everything you do.
You're dealing with potentially hazardous materials and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know. You're prioritizing the well-being of yourself and your team.
How do we show them that safety is always at the forefront of our minds?
Talk about specific safety programs or protocols you've
Okay.
implemented.
Uh-huh.
Have you conducted safety audits?
Okay.
Built training programs?
Uh-huh.
Put new procedures in place to reduce risks?
Could we share a story
Yeah.
about a time we prevented an accident
Absolutely.
or spotted a potential hazard?
Those are great examples. They demonstrate you're actively engaged in safety and willing to speak up
Okay.
when you see something that needs improvement.
Okay.
You can also mention your familiarity with safety regulations
Yeah.
and industry best practices.
And I bet mentioning that LED certification from the career guide
Oh,
would
yeah.
be a good idea.
For sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
It shows our commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility,
Yeah.
which go hand in hand with safety.
Showing you understand the connection between safety, environmental responsibility, and sustainability really demonstrates a well-rounded perspective.
Okay, so I've explained my proactive approach to safety.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up question might test my knowledge even further?
They might give you a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
For example, imagine a team member is consistently neglecting to wear their personal protective equipment.
Uh-huh.
How would you address that?
Right.
This tests your leadership, your communication skills,
Yeah.
and your ability to enforce safety standards.
That's a good one.
Right.
It really makes you think on your feet and show your dedication to creating a safe work environment.
Exactly. Safety is paramount in this field,
Mhm.
and they want to see you're capable of leading by example
Oh,
and creating that culture of safety.
wow, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
I feel much more prepared to tackle those wastewater treatment interview questions.
I'm glad to hear it. Thorough preparation is key to a successful interview. And remember,
Yeah.
it's not just about showcasing your technical knowledge.
Right. It's about letting your passion for the field
Mm-hmm.
shine through,
Yes.
demonstrating your problem-solving skills,
Uh,
and showing your commitment to safety and continuous learning.
Exactly. And don't forget those soft skills,
Right.
like communication and teamwork. They're essential for working effectively in this field.
If you're feeling a little nervous,
Yeah.
remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help.
Oh, absolutely.
It can analyze job descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
suggest relevant skills to highlight, and even provide feedback on your practice answers.
That's amazing.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
That's awesome.
So to all you aspiring wastewater engineers out there,
Yeah.
go in there with confidence.
You're at this.
You've got the knowledge, the skills,
Uh-huh.
and the passion
Yep.
to make a real difference in this important field.
You're going to do great.
And as you embark on your wastewater treatment journey, think about this. We've talked about treating wastewater,
Okay.
but how can we shift our focus towards preventing it in the first place?
That's a great question.
What role will you play in creating a more sustainable water future?